Car- Clinton was a Arkansas politician who had dealt with a conservative state legislature and who, while he went to Yale and he was a Rhodes Scholar in Britain, he still was, he had at least one foot firmly in the real world. Obama comes along, and Obama is really the beginning of the genuinely radical and uprooted American politician. I mean, nobody's really gone back because I think we were all so glad to have an African American president and to have broken through the racial barriers that people didn't want to look seriously at how radical he was. But Obama was very radical and very frankly, very racist. And the people he appointed were far more radical than he was. And then, of course, Biden is essentially Obama's third term and has the same Obama people. So what you have emerging is government appointees who are very left-wing, universities that are even further to the left, and then starting with AOC and the squad, you have the rise of a relatively small number, but growing, of people who are literally living in an alternative universe. I mean, their vision of reality is so far apart from you and me that we're not in the same universe.
Yeah. So I want to read a quote. In 1994, you said, which I think is prescient still. You said, "On everything on which we can find agreement, I will cooperate. On those things at the core of our philosophy, there will be no compromise." I guess my question is, we're living in alternate realities. I've written some op-eds recently just talking about the fact that we're in a marriage with irreconcilable differences. I mean,
Right.
like, to your point,
Yeah.
one faction in this country hates the country. They genuinely want to destroy it because they don't believe it's worthy of preserving. And then you have people like me who understand real history and have perspective and love this country deeply. I mean, I lived in Italy when I was 23 for 2 years. I worked in Milan. I was legal, by the way. I was not illegal, but anyway, I was in Milan. So, my early experience was, that form of socialism and everything, despite the fact that I love Italy so much. But I guess, there's like nothing that it seems that we can agree on anymore. And, you're talking about the bombings and the violence, kind of in that period in the early 70s. And now I see, obviously, a lot of left-wing violence, whether it's targeting Trump or what happened with Charlie Kirk, or, schools around the country and their manifestos, read like the curriculum that they've been fed. Audrey Hale, for example, in Nashville, in that Covenant shooting, her manifesto was, she was white, of course, but she said, "I hate white people. Black people are really cool." I mean, this is the thinking. And I thought that after Charlie died, Mr. Gingrich, I thought that we'd have a national reckoning, like a conversation about the left's rhetoric, because to me, it started, I remember when Hillary Clinton, she went to, it was at a donor meeting in New York City, I believe, or New York State. And that's where the basket of deplorables comment came up. She said, half of Trump supporters, she basically consigned us to the basket of deplorables. And the rhetoric just seemed to change and get more. And I think it had to do, by the way, because what Obama did, and obviously when you get into the Hillary Clinton email scandal and what her organization did, when you get into the Trump-Russia collusion hoax and coup, I think that they just went so far in terms of just the moral depravity of abuse.
Find their Drew Allen Show on this platform: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Ram TV Live.